Cosmic crash landing. The vast emptiness of space shimmered with distant stars as Princess Zara's sleek spacecraft hurtled through the darkness. Warning lights flashed across the console, the ship's hull groaning under the strain of its desperate flight. Zara's six-fingered hands danced across the controls, her luminous green eyes narrowed in concentration. "Computer, status report," she commanded, her musical voice taut with tension. "Hull integrity at 27%. Fuel reserves critically low. Pursuing vessels still in range, Your Highness," the AI responded coolly. Zara allowed herself a moment of despair. How had it come to this? Just days ago, she had been preparing to assume the throne of the Galactic Alliance, the interstellar federation her ancestors had built over millennia. Now, betrayed by those she had trusted most, she was little more than a fugitive. A violent shudder ran through the ship as a stray energy blast from her pursuers grazed the hull. Zora's attention snapped back to the present. She couldn't change the past, but perhaps she could still shape the future if she survived long enough. "Computer, scan nearby systems. Find viable planets," Zara ordered. "Prioritize pre-spaceflight civilizations." It was a desperate gambit. The laws of the Alliance strictly forbade contact with developing worlds, but those same laws might give her a chance of survival. Her pursuers wouldn't dare risk exposure by following her to a primitive planet. "Scan complete," the computer intoned. "One viable candidate detected. Designation: Earth. Indigenous civilization pre-FTL. Caution: atmosphere contains high levels of nitrogen and oxygen." Zora's heart raced. It was far from ideal, but it was her only chance. Plot a course and engage emergency landing protocols. The ship banked sharply, accelerating toward a small blue-green orb. As they breached the atmosphere, the battered hull began to glow red-hot. Zara gritted her teeth, fighting to maintain control as the craft plummeted toward the surface. Trees rushed up to meet her as the ship plunged into a dense forest, carving a destructive path through the wilderness before finally grinding to a violent stop. As the dust settled, silence fell, broken only by the hiss of cooling metal and the distant calls of startled wildlife. Inside the wreckage, Zara lay unconscious, her delicate purple skin marred by cuts and bruises. The ship's emergency beacon flickered weakly, its signal barely penetrating the thick canopy above. Miles away, in a small clearing, a scruffy mutt raised his head, ears twitching. The dog, a mixed breed with intelligent eyes and a shaggy coat, had been abandoned in these woods months ago. He'd learned to survive on his own, but a part of him still longed for companionship. Something in the air felt different. A faint scent unlike anything he'd encountered before tickled his sensitive nose. Curiosity overrode caution, and the dog set off into the forest, following the strange smell. As dawn broke, casting dappled sunlight through the leaves, the dog approached the crash site. Smoke still rose from the twisted metal of Zara's ship, and debris was scattered across the forest floor. The dog sniffed cautiously, circling the wreckage until he found an opening. Inside, he discovered Zara's unconscious form. The dog whined softly, nudging her hand with his wet nose. When she didn't respond, he curled up beside her, offering warmth and protection as he had once done for his human family. Hours passed. The forest slowly came alive with the sounds of birds and small animals, seemingly undisturbed by the alien object in their midst. Inside the ship, Zara stirred, consciousness returning in a haze of pain and confusion. She blinked, trying to focus on her surroundings. The first thing she saw was a pair of warm brown eyes staring at her with concern. Zara gasped, instinctively recoiling before realizing the creature beside her posed no immediate threat. What are you?" she whispered, her universal translator struggling to find the right words in this world's languages. The dog tilted his head, tail wagging slightly at the sound of her voice. He let out a soft woof in response. Zara's scientific training kicked in, helping her push aside her fear and analyze the situation. The creature appeared to be some kind of native fauna, possibly domesticated given its non-aggressive behavior. Its presence was oddly comforting in the aftermath of her crash. Slowly, carefully, she reached out her hand. The dog sniffed it, then gave her fingers a gentle lick. A small smile crossed Zara's face, her first since fleeing her homeworld. "Thank you for staying with me, little one," she said softly. "I suppose we're both a bit lost, aren't we?" With the dog's help, Zara managed to extricate herself from the wreckage. Each movement sent spikes of pain through her body, but her alien physiology was already working to heal the worst of her injuries. She stumbled out into the forest, leaning against a tree as she took in her new surroundings. The lush greenery was unlike anything on her arid homeworld. The air was thick with moisture and the sense of unfamiliar plants. Zara's scientific curiosity warred with a sense of caution. She was stranded on an alien world with unknown dangers. The dog stayed close, seeming to sense her unease. His presence was reassuring, a reminder that she wasn't entirely alone. Zara knelt down, wincing at the movement, and gently stroked the dog's fur. "I don't suppose you know where I might find help?" she asked, not expecting an answer. To her surprise, the dog barked once and began trotting away. After a few steps, he looked back at her expectantly. Zara hesitated, glancing back at her ruined ship. There was nothing salvageable in the short term, and staying put wasn't an option. With a deep breath, she made her decision. "Very well, my furry guide," she said. "Lead on." As they made their way through the forest, Zara's mind raced with plans and contingencies. Her top priority was to find a way to contact her allies without alerting her enemies to her location. But first, she needed to understand this world and its inhabitants. The dog led her to a small stream, and Zara realized how parched she was. She cupped her hands, drinking the cool water gratefully. As she did so, she caught sight of her reflection and gasped. Her usually immaculate appearance was a far cry from its usual regal state. "I'm a long way from the royal palace now," she mused. The dog nudged her hand, as if offering comfort. Zara managed a small smile. "You're right. Titles mean little here. We focus on survival first." As the day wore on, Zara and her canine companion traversed the forest. The dog seemed to have a destination in mind, though Zara couldn't fathom what it might be. Her body ached, and the alien environment taxed her senses, but she pressed on. Periodically, they would stop to rest. During these breaks, Zara attempted to use her limited equipment to scan for signs of civilization. The results were inconclusive. There were faint energy signatures that might indicate technology, but nothing definitive. As evening approached, bringing with it a chorus of unfamiliar animal sounds, Zara's concern grew. She needed shelter for the night, and her knowledge of Earth's potential predators was non-existent. The dog, however, seemed unconcerned. Just as Zara was about to suggest they find a defensible position for the night, the trees thinned, revealing a startling sight. A small wooden structure stood in a clearing, clearly artificial but long abandoned. "Is this what you were leading me to?" Zara asked. The dog wagged his tail in response. Cautiously, they approached the building. It appeared to be some kind of recreational shelter, with a collapsed table inside and the remnants of a fire pit nearby. While primitive, it offered more protection than the open forest. Zara set about making the shelter as secure as possible, using broken branches to cover the windows and gathering dry leaves for bedding. The dog watched her work, occasionally bringing her sticks in an attempt to help. As night fell, Zara huddled in the shelter with her canine protector. She stroked his fur absently, finding comfort in his steady presence. "I don't even know what to call you," she mused. After a moment's thought, she smiled. "How about Nova? It seems fitting for a guide among the stars." The newly named Nova wagged his tail, seeming to approve. Zara's mind turned to the challenges ahead. She was stranded on a pre-spaceflight world, hunted by her own people, with only a local animal as an ally. And yet, a spark of hope remained. If this world's inhabitants were advanced enough to build shelters like this, perhaps they were closer to the stars than she had initially thought. As she drifted into an uneasy sleep, Zara made a silent vow. She would find a way to contact her allies, to save her people from the tyranny that had overthrown her family. And somehow, she would find a way to protect this beautiful, primitive world from the conflict that pursued her across the stars. Nova shifted closer, his warm body a reassuring presence in the alien night. Together, the unlikely pair, an exiled alien princess and a stray Earth dog, faced an uncertain future on a world that held both danger and hope. The adventure was only beginning. Quantum bonds and cosmic revelations. As the first light of dawn filtered through the dilapidated shelter, Princess Zara awoke with a start. Her luminous green eyes darted around, momentarily disoriented by the unfamiliar surroundings. Then she felt Nova's warm presence beside her, and the events of the previous day came rushing back. "Good morning, my loyal friend," she whispered, scratching behind the dog's ears. Nova's tail thumped against the wooden floor, his eyes sparkling with canine enthusiasm for a new day of adventure. Zara's attention was suddenly drawn to a faint beeping sound coming from the remains of her crashed ship. Her heart raced as she realized what it meant. "The quantum entanglement communicator," she breathed. "It's still operational." With renewed energy, Zara and Nova set out towards the crash site. As they walked, Zara explained to her furry companion, "You see, Nova, quantum entanglement allows for instantaneous communication across any distance. If I can boost the signal, I might be able to contact my allies without alerting the usurpers to my location." Nova barked in response, as if understanding the gravity of the situation. As they neared the wreckage, a rustling in the underbrush caught their attention. Nova's hackles rose, a low growl rumbling in his throat. Zara tensed, her hand instinctively moving to the small energy weapon concealed in her tattered robes. From the bushes emerged a human figure, a young woman with wild curly hair and wide, curious eyes. She froze upon seeing Zara, her mouth agape in astonishment. "Oh my God," the woman breathed, her voice a mix of fear and wonder. You're not from around here, are you?" Zara straightened, drawing on years of diplomatic training. "I am Princess Zara of the Galactic Alliance," she said, her translator rendering her words into crisp English. "And no, I am not from your world. I come seeking refuge and assistance." The human woman blinked rapidly, processing the impossible scene before her. Then, to Zara's surprise, a broad smile spread across her face. "I'm Dr. Elara Chen," she said, extending a hand. "Astrophysicist and apparently first contact specialist. This is incredible." As Zara hesitantly shook the offered hand, marveling at the alien gesture, Nova happily circled the two bipeds. "Is this good boy yours?" Elara asked, kneeling to scratch Nova behind the ears. "He found me actually," Zara explained. "After my crash, he's been my guide and protector on your world." Elara's expression sobered. "Crashed ship. Are you hurt? Do you need medical attention?" Zara shook her head. "My physiology is resilient, but I am in need of assistance. Dr. Chen, my presence here must remain a secret. There are those who would do great harm to your world if they knew I was here." Elara's eyes sparkled with determination. "Well, Princess Zara, it looks like you've come to the right place. I'm out here testing new quantum communication theories. My camp is well hidden and equipped with some, let's say, unconventional technology. We can lay low there while we figure out our next move." As they made their way to Elara's camp, the scientist peppered Zara with questions about her species, her technology, and the broader galactic community. Zara answered as best she could, careful not to violate too many of the Alliance's laws regarding pre-spaceflight civilizations. "So there really is a galactic civilization out there," Elara mused, her voice filled with awe. "And we're just, what, the quiet backwater no one's noticed yet?" Zara smiled. "Your world is young, but full of potential. The Alliance has been watching Earth's progress with great interest. Your species' creativity and adaptability are quite remarkable." They arrived at Ilara's campsite, a clearing equipped with a high-tech tent and an array of strange equipment that hummed with energy. As Ilara prepared a meal for them, carefully checking which Earth foods were safe for Zara's alien biology, the princess began to relax for the first time since her crash landing. "I need to repair my ship's quantum entanglement communicator," Zara explained between bites of a fruit Ilara called an apple, which the princess found delightful. "If I can contact my allies, they can extract me before my enemies track me here." Ilara's brow furrowed in thought. "I'm no spacecraft engineer, but I've been working on some pretty cutting-edge quantum tech. Maybe we can jury-rig something using my equipment and whatever's salvageable from your ship." As they brainstormed ideas, bouncing concepts back and forth across the gulf of their different scientific backgrounds, Zara felt a spark of hope ignite in her chest. Perhaps with human ingenuity and her own advanced knowledge, they could find a solution. Their planning was interrupted by a low growl from Nova. The dog was staring intently into the forest, hackles raised. "What is it, boy?" Ilara whispered, reaching for what looked like a modified cattle prod. "Standard equipment for wildlife encounters," she'd explained earlier. Zara's hand went to her energy weapon. "We may have company," she said grimly, "and I don't think it's the friendly kind." As if on cue, a series of inhuman shrieks echoed through the trees. Plasma bolts sizzled through the air, setting the underbrush ablaze. "Chrono hunters," Zara gasped, her face pale. "They found me." Ilara's eyes widened in fear, but her voice was steady as she said, "Well, Princess, it looks like we'll have to improvise. Any ideas?" As the alien hunters closed in, Zara, Ilara, and Nova stood back to back, an unlikely trio preparing to face a threat beyond anything Earth had ever encountered. The fate of two worlds now hung in the balance, with humanity's first steps onto the galactic stage about to be far more dramatic than anyone could have imagined. Zara's mind raced, considering and discarding plans in rapid succession. Then her eyes fell on Ilara's quantum communication array. "Dr. Chen," she said urgently, "your quantum equipment, can it generate an entanglement field?" Ilara blinked, catching on quickly. "Theoretically, yes, but at that scale, it would be incredibly unstable. We'd be risking a localized collapse of spacetime." "It's our only chance," Zara insisted. "If we can create a quantum interference pattern, it might disrupt their chronotrackers long enough for us to escape." Nova barked, as if lending his support to the plan. "All right," Ilara nodded, her fingers flying over her equipment's controls. "But if we tear a hole in the universe, I'm blaming you." As the first chrono hunter burst into the clearing, its mask-like face swiveling as it searched for its prey, Ilara activated her array. Reality itself seemed to ripple, a wave of quantum energy bursting outward and enveloping the entire area in a shimmering field of probability. The effect on the hunters was immediate and dramatic. Their weapons went haywire, firing wildly in all directions as targeting systems lost cohesion. The aliens stumbled, their own molecular structures briefly phasing in and out of sync with baseline reality. "Now," Zara shouted. She grabbed Ilara's hand, and with Nova leading the way, they plunged into the depths of the forest. They didn't stop running until they were certain they had lost their pursuers, finally collapsing in a small gully hidden from view by dense foliage. As the adrenaline wore off, the full impact of what had just occurred began to sink in. That was... Ilara panted, struggling to find words. "Incredible," Zara finished, a note of admiration in her voice. "Your quick thinking saved us, Dr. Chen. I've never seen anyone weaponize quantum entanglement like that before." Ilara managed a weak laugh. "Just a typical day in the field for an astrophysicist, right?" As Nova nuzzled both of them, checking for injuries, Zara's expression grew serious. "They'll be back, and in greater numbers. We bought ourselves some time, but we need a more permanent solution." Ilara nodded, her scientist's mind already racing with possibilities. "We need to contact your allies, warn the authorities. But how? Your ship's communications are down, and I can't exactly call the Pentagon on my sat phone and tell them we're facing an alien invasion. Zora's eyes lit up with a sudden idea. Maybe we don't need to repair my ship's long-range communicator. What if we could boost the signal of your communication devices using principles of quantum tunneling? Quantum tunneling? Ilara's excitement was palpable. You mean like faster-than-light communication? That's possible. With the right equipment, yes, Zara confirmed. We need to combine your Earth technology with some components from my ship. It's a long shot, but it might be our only chance, Ilara finished. She glanced at Nova, who wagged his tail encouragingly. Well, boy, looks like we're in for another adventure. You up for it? The dog barked once, as if saying, always. As the unlikely trio set off once more, this time with a daring plan to bridge the gap between Earth's technology and the advanced science of the galactic community, the fate of two worlds hung in the balance. The next few hours would determine not just their survival, but potentially the future of humanity's place among the stars. Little did they know that their quantum entanglement experiment had caught the attention of more than just the chrono hunters. Somewhere in the depths of space, ancient and powerful eyes turned towards Earth, awakened by the ripples of possibility spreading across the cosmos. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reshape the galaxy, with humanity poised to play a pivotal role in events beyond their wildest imaginations. Quantum Nexus and Cosmic Awakening. As dawn broke over the horizon, casting a surreal glow across the alien-touched landscape, Zara, Ilara, and Nova huddled around their makeshift quantum communicator. The device, a bizarre fusion of Earth technology and salvaged alien components, hummed with an otherworldly energy that seemed to distort the very air around it. Are you sure this won't tear a hole in the fabric of reality? Ilara asked, her voice a mix of scientific excitement and trepidation. Zara's luminous green eyes flickered with determination. In theory, it should create a stable quantum tunnel through subspace. But I've never attempted anything like this before. The laws of physics might be more flexible than we realize. Nova whined softly, his fur standing on end, as if sensing the cosmic forces gathering around them. Ilara reached down to scratch behind his ears, drawing comfort from the loyal dog's presence. Well, the astrophysicist said with a nervous laugh, if we're going to rewrite the laws of physics, we might as well do it in style. Let's light this quantum candle. With a nod from Zara, Ilara activated the device. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, reality itself appeared to ripple and fold. The air shimmered with prismatic energy, and a low, thrumming tone filled their ears, as if the universe itself was resonating with their experiment. Suddenly, a beam of impossibly pure light erupted from the communicator, shooting skyward and piercing the clouds. The beam seemed to bend and twist, defying normal geometry as it reached for the stars. It's working, Zara exclaimed, her royal composure slipping in the face of this unprecedented achievement. We've established a quantum link across light years of space. But their elation was short-lived. The ground beneath their feet began to tremble, and the sky above darkened ominously. Lightning crackled between rapidly forming storm clouds, but the bolts were an unnatural violet color, forking and spiraling in impossible patterns. Ah, Zara. Ilara's voice wavered. Is this supposed to happen? Before the alien princess could respond, a deafening crack split the air. The quantum beam widened, transforming into a swirling vortex of energy that touched down mere meters from their position. Wind whipped around them, charged with eldritch power, as the portal stabilized into a shimmering doorway between worlds. Nova barked furiously, positioning himself protectively in front of his human and alien companions. Through the quantum gateway, they could see glimpses of alien landscapes, impossible geometries, and beings of pure energy fitting just beyond comprehension. By the cosmic concordat, Zara breathed, her eyes wide with a mixture of awe and terror. We've done more than establish communication. We've created a transdimensional nexus point. As if in response to her words, a figure emerged from the portal. It was humanoid in shape, but composed entirely of scintillating light and pulsing energy. When it spoke, its voice resonated not just in their ears, but in their very minds. "Greetings, children of Earth and emissary of the stars," the being intoned. "I am Safo, keeper of the cosmic weave. Your experiment has awakened ancient forces and drawn the attention of powers beyond your understanding." Ilara, her scientific mind reeling, managed to find her voice. "Ah, are you saying there are higher dimensions, more advanced civilizations out there?" Safo's form rippled, a gesture that might have been akin to a nod. "There are layers to reality that your sciences have only begun to grasp. The quantum tunnel you've created has breached the barriers between these layers. Even now, forces both wondrous and terrible converge upon this nexus." As if to illustrate the point, the sky above them seemed to fracture, revealing glimpses of other worlds, other realities. Strange craft of impossible designs began to appear, some sleek and beautiful, others dark and ominous. Zara stepped forward, drawing herself up to her full regal height. "Great Cathol, I am Princess Zara of the Galactic Alliance. We meant no disruption to the cosmic order. We sought only to defend this world from those who would harm it." The energy being's attention focused on Zara, its intensity almost palpable. "Your intentions may have been noble, young princess, but the consequences of your actions reach far beyond this single world. The balance of cosmic power has been irrevocably shifted." Nova growled low in his throat, still positioned protectively before his companions. To everyone's surprise, Zarthol's attention turned to the dog, and its tone softened. "Ah, the loyal guardian," the cosmic entity mused. "Perhaps it is fitting that one of Earth's most beloved companions should play a role in this grand awakening. Your kind has always sensed more than humans realize." Before anyone could respond to this cryptic statement, a new sound cut through the air, the unmistakable shriek of chrono hunter weapons. The twisted forms of Zara's pursuers burst from the tree line, their mask-like faces contorted with rage. "The abomination must not be allowed to live," the lead hunter bellowed. "This world will burn for harboring her." Ilara, her fear overcome by a surge of protective fury, stepped in front of Zara. "Like hell it will. This is our planet, and you're not welcome here." As weapons were raised on both sides, Zarthol's form flared with blinding intensity. "Enough!" The cosmic being thundered, its voice shaking the very foundations of reality. "The time of hiding and hunting is over. A new age dawns, and all must adapt or perish." With a gesture, Zarthol created a shimmering barrier between the two groups. The chrono hunters found themselves unable to advance or fire their weapons. "Behold," Axothol proclaimed, its voice echoing across dimensions. "The quantum nexus you have created has become a focal point for cosmic evolution. Earth now stands at a crossroads of realities, a linchpin in the grand tapestry of existence." Images began to form in the air around them, visions of possible futures. In one, Earth burned, reduced to ash by fearful alien armadas. In another, humanity reached for the stars, joining a grand alliance of species. And in yet another, Earth itself seemed to awaken, transformed into a living ship sailing the cosmic seas. "The choice of which future comes to pass," Hothol continued, "rests not just with you here, but with all of humanity. The barriers between worlds have thinned. Knowledge of what lies beyond can no longer be contained." Zara, Ilara, and Nova exchanged glances, the weight of this revelation settling upon them. They had sought only to send a message, to call for help. Instead, they had triggered a cosmic awakening that would reshape the destiny of Earth and beyond. "So what happens now?" Ilara asked, her voice small in the face of such cosmic revelations. Zarthol's form began to fade, merging with the quantum energies swirling around them. "Now, you must prepare your world for what is to come. Ancient cosmic forces stir, awakened by your experiment. Some will seek to guide and nurture this new potential. Others will attempt to exploit or destroy it." As the being disappeared entirely, its final words lingered in the air. The age of isolation is over. Humanity's trial by fire begins. May your ingenuity, compassion, and courage light the way through the darkness that comes. With that, the quantum portal collapsed in upon itself. The chrono hunters, released from their restraints, fell back in disarray, their purpose now uncertain in the face of these cosmic revelations. Zara, Elara, and Nova stood in stunned silence for a long moment, trying to process the enormity of what had just occurred. Finally, Nova broke the spell, barking once and wagging his tail as if to say, "Well, what are we waiting for?" Elara couldn't help but laugh, the absurd joy of scientific discovery bubbling up despite the gravity of their situation. "I can't believe it. We just made first contact with the cosmos itself," Zara finished, a note of wonder in her voice. "And it seems the universe has been waiting for humanity to join the conversation." As the first rays of sunlight broke through the dissipating storm clouds, the unlikely trio, alien princess, human scientist, and loyal Earth dog, gazed out at a world forever changed. The path ahead was uncertain, filled with both peril and promise. But they would face it together, armed with the greatest weapons of all, curiosity, compassion, and the unbreakable bonds of friendship forged in the crucible of cosmic awakening. Little did they know, their adventure was only beginning. For as Earth stirred with the first tremors of its cosmic awakening, other forces were already aligning. Ancient prophecies stirred, cosmic leviathans turned in their slumber, and across the infinite tapestry of realities, a great game board was being set. Humanity's trial by fire had begun, and the stakes were nothing less than the fate of all existence. Quantum evolution and the cosmic crucible. As the first rays of a new dawn painted the sky in hues of lavender and gold, Zara, Elara, and Nova stood atop a hill overlooking a world transformed. In the valley below, shimmering quantum rifts pulsed with otherworldly energy, portals to realms beyond human comprehension. The air itself seemed charged with potential, crackling with the promise of a new era for humanity. "I still can't believe it," Elara murmured, her eyes wide with wonder. "We've literally rewritten the laws of physics overnight." Zara nodded sullenly, her regal bearing tempered by the weight of recent events. "With great power comes great responsibility, Dr. Chen. The cosmos has awakened to humanity's potential, but not all who watch are benevolent." As if to underscore her point, a distant rumble shook the earth. On the horizon, massive shapes began to materialize, colossal beings of living crystal and energy, their forms defying conventional geometry. "Cosmic leviathans," Zara breathed, her voice a mixture of awe and trepidation. "Ancient entities that swim through the quantum foam between realities. They sense the disturbance we've caused." Nova growled low in his throat, hackles raised as he positioned himself protectively in front of his companions. But even as the loyal dog stood ready to face these impossible threats, something extraordinary began to happen. Streams of scintillating energy flowed from the quantum rifts, coalescing around Nova. The dog's form shimmered and shifted, his very DNA rewriting itself in real time. When the transformation was complete, Nova stood before them, larger and more majestic than ever. His fur now rippled with cosmic patterns, and his eyes gleamed with newfound intelligence and power. "Nova." Elara gasped, reaching out tentatively to touch her transformed companion. The dog barked once, his voice reverberating with harmonic overtones that seemed to resonate with the fabric of reality itself. Somehow, they understood that Nova had become more than just a pet. He was now a bridge between Earth and the cosmic forces that shaped the universe. "Incredible," Zara marveled. "It seems your loyal friend has undergone a quantum evolution, becoming a conduit for cosmic energy. This could change everything." Before they could fully process this development, the air shimmered and a holographic projection materialized before them. It was Kaful, the cosmic entity they had encountered earlier. "Defenders of Earth," Sarful's voice resonated in their minds. "The time of preparation is over. The cosmic crucible begins." Cosmic crucible. Ilara asked, her scientific curiosity piqued despite the gravity of the situation. Xathol's form rippled, conveying a sense of urgency. A trial by fire for emerging species to determine their readiness to join the greater cosmic community. Earth's premature awakening has triggered this ancient protocol. You must prove humanity's worth or face extinction. As the hologram faded, the ground beneath their feet began to shift and transform. The landscape around them morphed into a series of impossible structures, floating platforms of crystal and energy, twisting spires that seemed to pierce the very sky, and labyrinths that folded in on themselves in mind-bending geometries. The crucible has manifested, Zara explained, her royal training kicking in. We must navigate these trials, demonstrating humanity's virtues and overcoming our flaws. Nova barked in agreement, his newly enhanced senses already attuned to the cosmic energies swirling around them. With a gesture of his paw, he created a shimmering path of stardust leading towards the first challenge. As they set foot on the path, reality itself seemed to warp and twist. They found themselves standing before a massive door of shifting symbols and pulsing light. The Enigma Gate, Zara breathed. A test of intelligence and adaptability. We must decipher the cosmic code to proceed. Ilara's eyes lit up with excitement. A code, that's my specialty. Let me take a crack at it. As Ilara worked to unravel the cosmic puzzle, strange creatures began to materialize around them. Some were beautiful beyond description, beings of pure light and harmony. Others were dark and twisted, embodiments of chaos and destruction. Manifestations of cosmic forces, Zara explained, readying her energy weapon. They'll try to impede our progress or tempt us from our path. Nova growled, his form shifting to match each new threat. One moment, he was a creature of living flame, the next a being of solid light. His newfound powers allowed him to adapt to each challenge, providing a crucial edge in their cosmic trial. As they progressed through the crucible, facing challenges that tested not just their intellect and strength, but their very understanding of reality, a pattern began to emerge. Each trial seemed designed to push humanity to its limits, forcing them to confront their deepest fears and greatest weaknesses. In one chamber, they faced a swarm of quantum parasites that fed on negative emotions. Ilara's scientific detachment proved crucial in devising a way to neutralize the threat, while Zara's compassion and Nova's unwavering loyalty created a barrier the parasites couldn't penetrate. Another challenge pitted them against dark reflections of themselves, forcing them to confront the shadows within their own hearts. It was Nova who found the solution, his pure and selfless nature shining like a beacon in the darkness, showing them the path to redemption and growth. As they neared the heart of the crucible, the very fabric of space-time began to unravel around them. Reality flickered and warped, timelines converging and diverging in a dizzying display of cosmic power. The nexus of possibilities, Zara gasped, her voice filled with awe. The point where all potential futures converge. Our actions here will determine not just Earth's fate, but the destiny of countless worlds across the multiverse. Before them stood a swirling vortex of pure possibility, a window into infinite realities. They could see versions of Earth where humanity had achieved unimaginable greatness, and others where their world lay in ruins, consumed by war, greed, or cosmic calamity. We have to choose, Ilara realized, her voice barely a whisper. But how can we possibly decide the fate of not just our world, but all possible worlds? It was then that Nova stepped forward, his cosmic-infused form radiating with purpose. The loyal dog who had once been a simple strain now stood as a bridge between worlds, a conduit for the very essence of what made humanity unique. With a bark that echoed across realities, Nova projected a vision into their minds, not of a single fixed future, but of infinite potential. He showed them that the true power of humanity lay not in choosing one path, but in the ability to forge their own destiny, to learn, adapt, and grow in the face of any challenge. Understanding dawned on Zara and Ilara's faces. Together, They reached out to touch the swirling vortex, not to choose a single future, but to embrace the infinite possibilities that lay before them. The crucible shuddered and began to dissolve around them. They found themselves back on the hill where their journey had begun, but the world was forever changed. The sky shimmered with the afterglow of cosmic energies, and in the distance, they could see the first signs of a new age dawning for humanity. Safil's voice echoed one final time in their minds. You have passed the cosmic crucible, not by conquering it, but by transcending its very purpose. Humanity's journey among the stars begins now, guided by the unbreakable bonds of friendship, the relentless pursuit of knowledge, and the courage to face the unknown. As the first light of a truly new day broke over the horizon, Zara, Elara, and Nova stood together, no longer just an alien princess, a human scientist, and a loyal dog, but representatives of a species ready to take its place among the cosmic community. The quantum evolution had begun, and with it a new chapter in the grand cosmic story. Humanity would face challenges and wonders beyond imagination, but they would face them together, guided by the lessons learned in the crucible of their greatest trial. And as they took their first steps into this brave new cosmos, they knew that the greatest adventures still lay ahead, waiting to be discovered among the quantum realms and star-spanning civilizations that now beckoned to a humanity reborn. Cosmic Renaissance and the Quantum Nexus. The dawn of a new era broke over Earth, painting the sky in hues never before seen by human eyes. Quantum auroras danced across the heavens, their colors shifting between dimensions, a visual symphony of the cosmos awakening to humanity's presence. Zara, Elara, and the newly evolved Nova stood atop the ruins of what was once a simple research facility. Now, it had become the focal point of Earth's transformation, the quantum nexus. It's beautiful, Elara breathed, her eyes wide with wonder. I never imagined I'd live to see the birth of a new cosmic age. Zara nodded, her regal bearing tinged with a mix of pride and concern. With great cosmic power comes great universal responsibility, Dr. Chen. The challenges ahead will test humanity in ways we can scarcely imagine. Nova, his form now a fluid amalgamation of earthly canine and cosmic energy, barked in agreement. His eyes, once a warm brown, now swirled with the depths of space itself. Suddenly, the air before them shimmered, coalescing into a holographic display of breathtaking complexity. It showed Earth, but not as they knew it. The planet was surrounded by a web of quantum filaments, connecting it to distant stars and galaxies. The cosmic web, Zara explained, her voice filled with awe. A network of quantum pathways connecting all sentient worlds. Earth is joining the galactic community far earlier than anyone anticipated. As they watched, the first tendrils of this cosmic web began to materialize in the sky above them. Shimmering threads of pure possibility stretched out into space, linking Earth to distant worlds and unknown civilizations. But what does this mean for humanity? Elara asked, her scientific mind racing with the implications. Before Zara could respond, a new voice joined their conversation, one that seemed to resonate from the quantum fabric of reality itself. It means, young ones, but the true test is only beginning. The air in front of them warped and twisted, forming into the majestic figure of Kaful, the cosmic entity they had encountered during their trials. But this time, Safil was not alone. Flanking the cosmic being were representatives of a dozen alien races, each more fantastical than the last. Behold, Safil intoned, the Council of Cosmic Architects. We have come to witness the birth of Earth's quantum renaissance. Ilara's jaw dropped in astonishment. A galactic UN. I had no idea the universe was so organized. One of the alien beings, a creature of living crystal and starlight, stepped forward. Its voice chimed like bells in their minds. Young Earth, you stand at a crossroads. Your species has unlocked quantum potential far beyond your years. Now, you must learn to wield it wisely. Nova growled softly, not in threat but in acknowledgement. To everyone's surprise, the crystalline being bent down, addressing the cosmically enhanced dog directly. "Ah, the quantum companion," it chimed. "A most unexpected development. Perhaps it is fitting that humanity's most loyal friend should become their guide in this new frontier." Zara, drawing on her diplomatic training, addressed the assembled Cosmic Council. "Esteemed architects, I am Princess Zara of the Galactic Alliance. On behalf of Earth, I humbly request your guidance in these unprecedented times." The council members exchanged glances, a silent communication passing between them. Finally, Sothul spoke again. "The path ahead is fraught with peril, young ones. The quantum awakening of Earth has sent ripples across the cosmos. Ancient forces stir, drawn to the wellspring of untapped potential your world now represents." As if to illustrate Sothul's point, the quantum web above them pulsed with sudden intensity. In the distance, they could see shimmering portals beginning to open, gateways to worlds and dimensions beyond human comprehension. "The quantum nexus you've created," another council member explained, "this one a being of pure energy and thought, has made Earth a cosmic crossroads. Knowledge, culture, and unfortunately, threats from across the universe will converge here." Elara's eyes lit up with a mix of scientific excitement and trepidation. "So Earth is becoming a multidimensional hub. That's terrifying and amazing." Nova barked, his cosmic-infused voice carrying layers of meaning. They all understood his intent. Whatever came through those portals, he would stand as humanity's faithful guardian. "Indeed," Exothul nodded, a gesture that sent ripples through the fabric of spacetime. "But with great cosmic influence comes great universal responsibility. Humanity must now learn to navigate not just the stars, but the very currents of reality itself." The crystalline being stepped forward again, extending what appeared to be a hand. In it lay a small, pulsing orb of impossible complexity. "We offer you this, the Cosmic Codex. Within it lies the accumulated wisdom of 1,000 galaxies. Use it wisely to guide your species through the tumultuous times ahead." As Elara reached out to accept the gift, the world around them began to shift and change. The quantum energy suffusing the planet was reshaping it at the fundamental level. Cities across the globe were transforming, ancient structures revealing hidden quantum properties, and new impossible architectures rising from the Earth. "Behold," Exothul proclaimed, "the dawn of Earth's quantum renaissance. Your world will become a beacon of innovation, a nexus of cosmic cultures, and a bastion against the encroaching darkness that threatens all of creation." The council members began to fade, their forms becoming one with the quantum webs surrounding the planet. Sothul's voice lingered, a final message echoing across dimensions. "The age of isolation is over. Humanity now stands on the cosmic stage. May your curiosity light the way, your compassion be your shield, and your courage fuel the journey ahead. For in your hands lies not just the fate of Earth, the very future of the quantum cosmos itself." As the last of the cosmic beings disappeared, Zara, Elara, and Nova found themselves alone once more, standing at the precipice of a new age. The quantum nexus pulsed with power, a testament to humanity's newfound place in the universe. Elara clutched the Cosmic Codex, its surface shimmering with untold knowledge. "So," she said, a hint of her old humor returning despite the weight of their new responsibility, "I guess astrophysicist doesn't quite cover my job description anymore, huh?" Zara laughed, the sound like tinkling crystals in the quantum-charged air. "Indeed, Dr. Chen. We are all entering uncharted territories now." Nova barked in agreement, his tail wagging as it left trails of stardust in the air. The once simple dog now stood as a symbol of the extraordinary potential that lay dormant within the ordinary. As they gazed out at a world transformed, at a sky alive with the promise of cosmic adventures to come, they knew that this was only the beginning. The quantum renaissance had begun, and with it, a new chapter in the grand cosmic story of humanity. With the Cosmic Codex as their guide, the unlikely trio, alien princess, human scientist, and quantum-enhanced canine, prepared to lead Earth into an age of wonders beyond imagination. For as the boundaries between science and magic, between the mundane and the miraculous, continued to blur, one thing became crystal clear. The greatest adventure in human history was about to unfold, written in the quantum fabric of the cosmos itself.